Hi, my name's Barry Senft. I'm CEO of Grain Farmers of Ontario. Today I'd like to talk to you about an issue that has been discussed in more frequency in the last number of months, and that's the Ontario Soybean Marketing Agreement. Now this in essence is an agreement that is signed by the elevator companies, the processors and producers as far as what an allowable drying charge can be when a producer delivers grain into the elevator system. Now this agreement was last negotiated in 2005, and the result of that agreement was that the charge of drying was tied to the commodity price of soybeans. So you'll remember that in 2005, 2006, that we had depressed prices for our commodities, including soybeans. So at the time that this was signed off on, the charges didn't seem too extreme. We all know what's recently happened over the last 4 or 5 years, and thankfully so, commodity prices have strengthened, but along with that, so has the increase in drying charges for our producers. We have heard and received a number of calls from producers over the last 3 years indicating and questioning why the charges were as high as they are. And it's ironic that while these charges are under regulation, that we weren't receiving these same calls on the commodities of wheat and corn. What's the difference? Well, the wheat and corn are deregulated. They're up to the producer to negotiate every time they deliver into the elevator system. The soybeans are that regulated and allowable charge assessed to that commodity. So while these calls were coming in, people were raising this issue at meetings. A resolution was passed at the delegates' annual meeting of GFO, asking us to look into how we could lower these drying charges. So looking at where wheat and corn are and where soybeans are, the issue came up to that of being is regulation holding those prices too high. Regulations from our perspective are there to protect the farmers and not harm farmers. So if it's not protecting farmers, then how can we change that? So the idea came up of deregulating it similar to wheat and corn, so that every time that you delivered and had soybeans dried in the commercial system, the producer would negotiate that price as they do in wheat and corn. So we are going into these discussions in the next period of time with the emphasis of why we leave the regulation as it is. We take out the number that's allowed to be charged and leave that to the producer and to the industry to come up with an agreed upon negotiated price. So that's the reason that you might have seen, if you're a delegate, seen this discussion in the GFO Board of Directors minutes. We've been talking about it at meetings over the last period of time, and I just wanted to give you an update of why we are looking at this and what we're looking at it to resolve it with. Thank you for your time.